Some airplanes don't become cheap because they are unsafe or badly designed. They become cheap because the market slowly loses interest, and once that happens, prices collapse no matter how capable the aircraft still is. Cessna 152. The Cessna 152 has quietly become one of the most unwanted airplanes in general aviation, not because it fails at flying, but because the market moved on. Flight schools that once relied heavily on the type have replaced it with newer platforms, flooding the used market with aging airframes. Performance feels extremely limited for modern pilots, especially in climb and cruise, and useful load restricts real-world travel. Many examples require immediate avionics upgrades that cost more than the airplane itself. Insurance demand has weakened, resale times are long, and buyers fear high-time trainer abuse. Even though parts availability remains strong, perception dominates pricing. As a result, some sell for little more than a used car, making the aircraft unwanted despite its legendary reliability. Younger pilots see it as outdated before even flying it. Owners struggle to justify upgrades on such a low-value airframe. Ramp appeal is minimal compared to newer trainers. The airplane did nothing wrong, but the market simply lost interest. Reliability alone is no longer enough to protect its value. Piper PA 38 Tomahawk. The Piper Tomahawk never recovered from its early reputation, even though many of the concerns were overstated or misunderstood. Training accidents during its early years permanently damaged market confidence, and that stigma followed every example that came after. Buyers fear stall behavior they may never encounter, while flight schools avoid reintroducing the type due to perception alone. Private owners inherit that negative image instantly. Avionics are often outdated, insurance companies remain cautious, and resale demand is extremely thin. Even well-maintained airframes struggle to attract attention. Sellers continuously lower prices, not because the airplane is unusable, but because the market simply does not want to be convinced otherwise. Many pilots form opinions without ever flying one. Mechanics report that fear outweighs facts in buyer decisions. Listings often attract curiosity, not serious offers. The airplane becomes a conversation piece instead of a purchase. Reputation alone keeps value suppressed. Beachcraft Duchess. The Beachcraft Duchess looks appealing as a light twin, but market reality has turned against it. Twin-engine ownership immediately scares off private buyers due to fuel burn, insurance costs, and maintenance complexity. Performance does not significantly outperform strong single-engine alternatives, making the extra expense hard to justify. Many training organizations phased it out, leaving used examples without a clear buyer base. Aging electrical systems and Beechcraft parts pricing further discourage ownership. Even pilots who appreciate its handling hesitate when resale potential is considered. As listings sit unsold, prices continue dropping, making the Duchess unwanted despite its solid design. Buyers calculate costs before passion enters the picture. Twins without a clear mission struggle in today's market. Ownership demands commitment few are willing to make. The Duchess becomes an emotional want, but a financial no. Market hesitation keeps pushing prices down. Piper Seminole. The Piper Seminole dominates multi-engine training, but struggles badly outside that role. Private owners rarely seek it, because twin ownership feels intimidating and expensive. Insurance premiums remain high, fuel burn feels excessive for the performance offered, and maintenance requires specialized shops. While schools buy them strategically, the private resale market is thin and unforgiving. Avionics upgrades quickly erase any perceived bargain. Sellers compete aggressively on price, driving values downward. The airplane itself is reliable and predictable, but its identity is too tightly tied to training. Outside that niche, demand collapses, turning the Seminole into an unwanted aircraft. Buyers see it as a tool, not a dream airplane. Ownership appeal drops sharply once training ends. Few want to absorb its costs without revenue backing. The market treats it as disposable once its training role is done. Value erosion follows quickly. Grumman AA-1 Traveler. The Grumman AA One Traveler flies better than its market reputation suggests, yet remains largely unwanted. Its bonded aluminum construction scares many mechanics, limiting maintenance options and buyer confidence. Cabin space feels tight, payload margins restrict usefulness, and parts sourcing can be inconsistent depending on location. Insurance familiarity is limited, and buyers fear long-term support. Despite responsive handling and respectable performance, perception dominates reality. Listings often sit unnoticed while sellers slowly reduce prices. The value exists, but hesitation defines the market, leaving the Traveler overlooked and undervalued. Many buyers walk away before inspections even begin. Fear of the unknown outweighs flight experience. Owners struggle to explain its strengths quickly. The airplane rewards pilots, but punishes resale expectations. Market silence keeps prices suppressed. Beachcraft Sierra. The Beachcraft Sierra was meant to offer bonanza-style quality at a lower entry point, but market expectations never aligned with reality. Buyers quickly notice modest performance, paired with relatively high fuel burn. Maintenance costs reflect Beechcraft standards, and parts availability varies by region. Insurance companies treat it cautiously, and useful load often disappoints family buyers. Owners hesitate to invest in upgrades because resale margins are slim. Listings frequently remain active for months, forcing sellers to cut prices repeatedly. The Sierra is not unsafe or poorly built, but it became unwanted as expectations drifted elsewhere. Buyers expect bonanza performance at Sierra prices. That mismatch kills enthusiasm quickly. Ownership costs feel disproportionate to mission capability. The airplane lives in the shadow of its bigger sibling. Market comparison works against it constantly. Cessna 175 Skylark. The Cessna 175 Skylark looks like a natural evolution of the Cessna 172, but its geared engine changed everything. Maintenance complexity and historical engine issues permanently damaged buyer confidence. Few mechanics specialize in the type, and parts availability raises long-term concerns. Performance improvements over the 172 feel marginal, failing to justify perceived risk. Market demand collapsed decades ago and never recovered. Prices reflect fear more than reality, with many examples selling far below their actual utility. Owners struggle to explain the aircraft's advantages, leaving the Skylark unwanted and misunderstood. Buyers fear being the exception owner. Mechanics unfamiliar with the type hesitate to touch it. The geared engine dominates every conversation. Even good examples suffer from the model's history. Perception locks the Skylark out of recovery. Piper Cherokee 180. The Piper Cherokee 180 should be a perfect all-around airplane, but market reality pushed it into the unwanted category. Many examples are heavily worn from decades of training and rental use, creating buyer hesitation instantly. Performance feels underwhelming compared to newer singles with similar operating costs. Useful load often disappoints once full fuel is considered. Aging avionics are common and expensive to modernize. Corrosion in wing roots and control systems scares inspectors and insurers. Maintenance costs no longer match the airplane's resale value. Flight schools moved on, and private buyers want more speed or efficiency. Listings often sit for long periods without serious interest. Sellers slowly reduce prices just to generate calls. The airplane still flies reliably, but demand no longer follows. What was once a safe bet became a market orphan. That shift makes the Cherokee 180 surprisingly unwanted today. These airplanes aren't unwanted because they're bad. They're unwanted because the market moved on and perception took over. In aviation, value is driven by reputation as much as performance. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like, subscribe to Aviation India, and comment which aircraft you think became unfairly forgotten.